Okay, so today we continue with our Mind Awakening series, and today we're going to be talking about the world of heart versus the material world. The world of heart versus the material world. It is my expectation that after this session, you would be able to understand how to use, the world of heart, which of course some people would term as the emotional world, versus the material world. And we 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 normally value the things that we touch, and the things that we can feel, the things that we hold. But then you're going to realize that the world of heart plays a more important role and a key role than the material world. And so I'm going to be sharing with you some slides, and I hope that they would actually be of help. Okay. So the heart is the container, okay? The container that actually contains our thoughts and emotions. It actually composes your personality and your nature, okay? So the heart is that container that contains these things, okay? So think of it like this. So when we talk about love, um, love is like an ocean, okay? It's like an ocean without a floor, and it has no boundaries. But these things, they pertain to the world of heart, okay? They do not pertain to the material world. But what is interesting is that in the absence of this, your life is actually meaningless. Okay, so even though it is something you cannot hold, you cannot touch, as in like a phone or as in like a dress, but then if you do away with it, or if it is not part of your life or your living, and then there are problems. Okay, there are problems. So think about it. Okay, if love is like an ocean, it's so wide, it's so deep, is so broad, and it pertains to the world of the heart, then it can also tell you how vast our heart is. It can tell you how vast our heart is, such that you can actually get lost, without a proper navigation, without a proper compass. You can get lost in yourself. Okay, so this is what we want to be talking about. Okay, competing in our hearts. There are two worlds that compete in our hearts. So we have the material world, okay, or we can say the world of flesh or the physical world, and then we also have the world of the heart. Okay, we also have the world of the heart. So we have the material world, and then we also have the world of the heart, right? So as you can see on your screen, think of it this way: who doesn't want to live in a nice house? Who doesn't want to get a fat check? Who doesn't want money, and who doesn't want to drive a nice car? Okay, but these are things that pertain to the physical world or the world of flesh. Okay, and it makes our life quite comfortable, quite comfortable. Okay, so let's look at a bit more. So I do travel from time to time, and I can tell you, when you are passing through, the first class and business class going to economy, then you realize there is no equality in this world. Yeah, you realize there's no economy in this equality in this world. You look at the spacing in the first class and the business class, and you go to the economy class, and you're like, oh my God, they are packed in there as like sardines, so to speak. Okay, so you look at this places and compare to a first class, treatment. So everybody wants to live good, and you can't blame anyone for that. You can't blame anyone for that. But so our our flesh or the physical world has some demands. It has some demands. We have the demand for sleeping, for feeding, we have such demands. And then, but our emotions, okay, our emotions, they control things like, that is the world of the heart controls things like our emotions, our character, yes, our thoughts, our feelings, okay. These things belong to the invisible world or the world of the heart, all right? And they actually control a whole big part of our lives. Now, let's think about it. Is something invisible, isn't it real? Something we cannot see. Do we say it is not real? We can't really say that. Okay? We can't really say that. We can't say because we do not see it is not real. We can't say that. So then um if what is invisible, let's think about it. The invisible things actually control, okay? They are actually more powerful. They control a large part of our life. So think about something like gravity. It's something we can't see, it's invisible, and yet it keeps us on the earth. It makes us not float around. It keeps us stable on the earth. It actually keeps, the various the planets in orbit such that they don't clash against each other, especially regarding the earth and other bodies out there. So it's something we cannot see, and yet it plays a very key role in our lives. It plays a very key role in our lives. Now, the same thing with radio waves. Okay. Also, we cannot see it. We cannot see it, and yet it makes broadcasting possible with regards to television, with radio. It makes telephone communication possible. Because of radio waves, you're able to call to another cell and then they are able to hear you. Okay. It makes microwaves work, heaters, you name it. So many things are able to work because of radio waves. And so these are things you cannot see, and yet they play a very key role in our lives. Although we cannot see them, they play a very key role in our lives. Okay, so it tells you that the invisible world is actually a world that has a lot of force. Now, look at electricity, for example. Okay, now I hear or I understand that electricity was discovered way back as at BC 250. Okay, but then, although it was discovered way back, but it was not properly utilized until after about 2000 years ago, or 2000 years after, I should say. 2000 years after. So they discovered it but did not really know the uses of it properly until about 2000 years after that it was properly utilized. Before then, to lighten up a room, you would have to actually burn fire. You would have to light up a real fire in your room, and trust you me, if there is a mistake, then you can imagine what happens. If there is a mistake, the whole house would burn down. And that was what happened in the absence of electricity. But because of electricity, today our lives are more comfortable. You cannot live without it for a long period of time, especially if you've gotten used to it. You can't live without it for a long period of time. And the issues of climate change today, there are things that electricity would actually come very handy. Okay, so with regards to electric cars and the rest, they're going to help the emissions lower, such that we can control or manage the climate quite a bit. So we cannot underestimate the impact of electricity in our lives. And yet, it is something we cannot see. Okay, it's something that is not seen readily, right? So you bring it to the world of the heart, and it tells you the same thing, that if you also learn how to properly utilize your heart, how to operate in that world, okay, in the world of emotions, in the world of character, in the world of your personality, if you learn how to operate there, then it's going to also have a big impact in your life. It's going to have a big impact in your life. And I want to share a lot about that with you. So think of the physical world as your hard phone, your cell phone, the physical body, okay? The hard uh, parts of your phone. But then the world of heart is as like the applications on that phone. It could be the latest iPhone in town, it could be the latest Samsung, but without applications, it is useless. It is useless. So the world of the heart is something we cannot underestimate. It's something we must learn how to operate in there, how to, empower our lives through the world of the heart. Okay. So that is more like your mindset. Okay. That is your mindset. That is the soft parts of the phone, the applications that actually make the phone works, makes you receive emails, make you send text messages, make you view videos and all those things. Without those applications, the phone is good as dead. It's useless. It's useless. And I would like to so there are things that we can feel, okay? There are things that we can feel with our hands, with our body. There are things that we can feel, the material world. But there are things that we can only feel with our hearts. There are things that we can only feel with our hearts, like love, like hatred, like care. These things can only be felt in the heart. But trust you me, they manage a big part of our lives. They manage a big part of our lives. Now, you could have the best piano. You could have the best piano, gold plated. Okay. You could have the best piano. It could be Yamaha, it could be, any good brand that you can think about. But if you do not learn how to play it, it's useless. It's useless. So you can be tall, you can be nice, you can be very handsome, but if you've not learned the usage of the heart, if you've not learned how to manage your emotions, if you do not have the right mentality, and then you are good as dead. You are good as dead. Now, I want to there is this couple, okay, an old couple, they came on retirement. They live in the United States, Albert, okay, and they manage a restaurant, okay, they manage a restaurant, and they want to serve their customers. They want to serve their customers such that every customer comes out with joy and happiness. So they do not take so many customers in a day. They manage the number of customers such that they can serve everyone happily. So running a restaurant with a aim of just making money versus running it to give happiness and joy to people, you cannot compare even the results. It's incomparable. If you are running it for money, your standards will drop. It will fall because you are only focused on the money. So the ingredients, the quality, everything is going to drop. But if you are running it to give service, to make people happy, and to give joy to people, I'm telling you, the profits will be unimaginable. Will be unimaginable. And that is how the world of the heart works. Okay. So let me present two characters onto you. I want to present you Thomas and Ezra. Okay. Thomas and Ezra. Now, Thomas has 90% skill, but 30% of a mindset, good mindset, or the world of the heart. Okay. 30% skill, 30% mind, and 90% skill. Now, Ezra, on the other hand, has 30% skill, but 90% proper mindset. He knows how to utilize the world of the heart. Now, let me just show you a very quick video about these two, how they utilize their mindsets. Let's take a watch.
Ezra and Thomas joined the company together a few months after their graduation from university. After a few years of work, their manager promoted Ezra to a position of senior sales manager, but Thomas remained in his entry level as junior sales officer. Thomas developed a sense of jealousy and disgruntlement, but continued working anyway. One day, Thomas felt that he could not work with Ezra anymore. He wrote his resignation letter, but before he submitted it to the manager, he complained that management did not value hard-working staff but only promoted the favored. The manager knew that Ezra worked very, very hard for the years he had spent at the company, even harder than Thomas, and therefore he deserved the promotion. So in order to help Thomas realize this, the manager gave Thomas a task. Go and find out if anyone is selling watermelons in town. Thomas returned and said, yes, there is someone. The manager asked, how much per kilogram? Thomas drove back to town to ask and then to inform the manager. They are 13.50 cedis per kilogram. The manager told Thomas, I will give Ezra the same task that I gave you. Please, pay close attention to his response. So the manager said to Ezra in the presence of Thomas, go and find out if there's anyone selling watermelons in town. Ezra went to find out, and on his return, he said, Manager, there is only one person selling watermelons in the whole town. The cost is 49 cedis for each watermelon and 32.50 cedis for a half melon. He sells them at 13.50 cedis per kilogram when sliced. He has in his stock 93 melons, each weighing about 7 kilograms. He has a farm and can supply us with melons for the next 4 months at a rate of 27 cedis each for 102 melons per day. And this includes delivery. The melons appear fresh and red with good quality, and they taste better than the ones we sold last year. He has his own slicing machine and is willing to slice for us for free of charge. We need to strike a deal with him before 10 a.m. tomorrow, and we will be sure of beating last year's profits in melons by 223,000 cedis. This will contribute positively to our overall performance, as it will add a minimum of 3.78% to our current overall sales target. I have put this information down in writing and it's available on spreadsheet. Please let me know if you need it as soon as possible and I can send in 15 minutes. Thomas was very impressed and realized the difference between himself and Ezra. He decided not to resign, but rather to learn from Ezra.
Yeah. So you can see the difference in mind between these two people, okay, Thomas and Ezra. And so you may think that, with a high level of skill, you are able to succeed, but it's not really the case. You need that mindset in addition. You need to develop the world of hearts, the world of the heart in order to overcome a lot of challenges. Now you'd realize that Thomas just went and did as he was told. Go and find out the price of melon. He just went, found out the price and came back. Oh, how much is it when it is sliced or what it's like? He just went, found out how much. You see Ezra going the extra mile to present all the issues at stake, such that a proper decision could be taken. And that is the traits of those who have a developed mindset, those who have a developed world of hearts. The world of the flesh, the physical world, does do only to a limit. But those who have a more developed world of heart can overcome a lot of barriers, can actually overcome a lot of obstacles on the way to succeed and to bring out the best of every situation. Now, this was a research, okay, a research that at Rebecca, that by Rebecca Settle at the Presbyterian College in 2014 in Georgia, okay, and the title is Does Money Truly Bring Happiness? A study of 56 countries' level of happiness and their contributing factors. All right, does money truly bring happiness? And I would give you the findings. Okay. Now it says that individuals in poor societies live happily without the wealth found in well, organized or developed societies. Okay. They expressed happiness regardless of wealth, a finding that suggests that other factors influence happiness. And this is so true. Now, you would realize that suicide rates are higher in developed countries than in developing countries. Funny, right? But that is the truth. Okay. So you look at the wealth acquired and it does not directly correlate to happiness. It does not, there isn't that link. Okay. And here it says health and religion are the two most important factors to individual happiness. Wealth does not play a strong role. Education plays the least role. These were the findings. These were the findings. And so people tried to find out, whether, happiness could be related to wealth. Okay, so the conclusion is this, that while economic status, has an influence, health, religion, and individual freedom have the greatest impact on determining happiness. Interesting, right? Very interesting. And strangely enough, these things that had the greatest impact on determining happiness, they are all things that are invisible. They are all things that are invisible. They are things you cannot you cannot touch, but they influence a major part of your life, like health. If you're not healthy, you know how it would, you know, portray in your physical bodies. You know how it's going to show up in your physical bodies if you're not healthy. Okay. Religion also, and individual freedom. And individual freedom. And so also these were actually the issues. These were actually the issues. And so understand, we need to understand how mindset plays a key role in our lives. We need to understand it's something we cannot underestimate at all. It's something we cannot underestimate at all. Your mind, your world of your heart will make up your personality. They say that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, right? So what it means is that we are looking at the same thing. We can be looking at the same person, but how we feel about what we are looking at will be different from individual to individual, how we feel about it. So it's the same situation, but how your heart interprets the situation will either make you fall in despair or make you have hope. How you interpret that situation is going to either make you fall in despair or you're going to have hope or you're going to have hope. So on this very journey, as we study the world of the heart and as we study about mind, the mindset, I do hope that we all take it quite seriously, because even if your circumstance, even if your conditions are very good, you have very good condition, you come from a good family background and the rest, but if you do not have a good mindset, you are not going to make it. Early this morning, somebody called me very quite early in the morning. And, I had a marriage seminar yesterday at a place, and it was one of the participants who called me, and he was talking about his son. And he says, um, I don't know what is wrong with my son. He can barely stay in the school for even 2 weeks. I've paid his fees, everything is in the boarding school, but he just doesn't seem to like to stay. He just leaves, whether with permission or not, and he's home. I don't know what to do about him. I don't know how to handle him. Please help me. And I'm like, let me talk to him later in the day on phone and let's see, how it goes. So this boy has all the good conditions. He has parents who can afford his fees. He has parents who love and care for him and all that. And yet he is unable to make the best, from his life. He's unable to make the best from his life. So I want to talk to him to find out, what is actually encouraging such behavior, what is driving him. Something is definitely pulling him that we must find out. That we must find out. And so it is not about changing your situations. Okay. It's not easy changing the situation, but at least we know it's easy to change your mind. We know it's easy to change your mind. And when the mind changes, your life changes. True. Because when your mind changes, your attitude is going to change. When your attitude changes, your life is definitely going to change. When your life changes, those around you would also change. The family would change, the society, the community, and the nation and the world at large changes as well. And so I hope that on this journey of discovering a proper mindset, strong mentality, resilient mindset, responsible mindset, there are so many things about the mind and the world of the heart that we need to learn. It actually controls your personality. Trust me, it controls your personality. It controls your thinking process. It controls your processing, everything, everything. How you process thoughts, how you see life to be, and how you maneuver, the obstacles and the challenges. Sometimes life will throw curveballs at you and throw a lot of difficulties, a lot of problems and challenges at you. And if you do not have the right mentality, the developed world of heart to manage and maneuver these things, you would have a total breakdown and shutdown of your life. And so the invisible world of heart actually does control our physical lives. It does control the material world. Do not value material possession over your mind possession. Do not value material over the world of the heart. Because, even if you, let's say you totally collapse or you go bankrupt in your company, if you have the mentality and you know how to make money, you know how to be disciplined, you can rise once again. You can rise once again. Although not easy, but you can rise. And so I hope that on this journey, as we discover ourselves through the Mind Awakening TV channel, you join us and you join me every time and each week as we go deep into this topic. I'd like to end here. Thank you.